But before we get going, we do have our first special guest in the waiting room ready to come in. He is a former wrestling traveler, and he's also won an award recently, Dimensions 2020 Coronavirus Learning Disability and Autism Leader of the Year. What a fantastic award there. Ladies and gents, we've got Max Green. Max, welcome to the podcast.
Hello all. Thank you for having me on as well. I've been watching after the last couple of weeks, feeling the heartbreak of The Undertaker's retirement all the way to Sting's return last night, which was didn't see that coming. But thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine to get us going here. But Max, can you just tell us a little bit about your award that you've won recently there?
Yeah, so obviously, coronavirus has had a kind of big effect on the world this year, and a lot of the year I've just been spending raising awareness for autism, because I've got autism, ADHD, OCD, and epilepsy myself. It's a big list. It's almost as big as Ric Flair's World Championship reigns. So I continue to try and raise awareness for that throughout the year. So I've done about, I think, 19 speeches this year. Most of them have been virtual because of the pandemic. But I also done a YouTube series earlier this year called The Autism Connections, where I just brought autistic people, but also people that didn't even heard about autism or know of it, and just kind of interviewed them to kind of see what their understanding is, the stories behind the people that have got it, and just carry on trying to raise awareness, really. And I think it's obviously been recognised by Dimensions, so obviously thank them for making me the Coronavirus Learning Disability and Autism Leader of the Year.
Nice.
Well done, Max. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Definitely, absolutely fantastic. But Max, you've travelled with Wrestling Travel before. Just to tell obviously all the viewers that are watching at this moment in time, what has been your sort of experience with Wrestling Travel? Hopefully positive.
Wrestling Travel, I mean, I remember the first time, where you're thinking about going to Mania, and we were thinking, well, what's the best kind of way around it? That's when I first heard of Wrestling Travel. And went to WrestleMania 35. Very good company, very good at coming back to me when I had any questions, any queries about the journey there, the journey back, what the event was like, my seats, all of it was just a really good overall experience, to the point where I think where Wrestling Travel came more aware of me is I managed to get their T-shirt on the Hall of Fame episode of WrestleMania 35, and I was just sat in the back, and I wasn't meant to be scheduled in those seats, but I saw 2 spare seats, and I thought, I'm only here once, and I thought, I'm gonna chance it and go to these seats. And then suddenly I had a Twitter photo pop up going, who's this guy who's got the Wrestling Travel T-shirt on? The next thing I know, after Mania, because I'd managed to do so many kind of little interviews with some of the wrestlers at WrestleMania Access, I had Lee call me up, and he was like, or Carl, I think it was, and he said, how do you feel about coming to Liverpool for the love of wrestling? And they invited me down there to interview again some of the wrestlers, and I managed to meet The Undertaker, Jimmy Hart, Ric Flair, and obviously none of that would have been possible without Wrestling Travel. So kind of off the back of that, I interviewed Lee, where he then announced I was going to be like a Wrestling Travel ambassador. So anytime I ambassador for wrestling, when I'm doing my speeches around autism, I try and fit it all in and go, oh, okay, who's into wrestling here? And there's a lot of people that are, and then you're like, right, these are the people you want to go to if you ever think about going to a Royal Rumble or any event wrestling wise, you want to go through them.
No, fantastic there, Max, and you're well and truly a part of the Wrestling Travel family indeed, and we're very proud of you for everything that you've obviously done with your award board and everything there. Mad Dog, is there anything you'd like to discuss with Max? I know you were very keen on getting him on.
Oh, you know what? Max, great guy. We worked together at For the Love of Wrestling in Liverpool. It was great to see him do his stuff in the ring, working with some lovely people there. We had Laura Duff working alongside us and Gabrielle the Wish Mama. And Max was in the ring at one point when we first arrived and was doing a bit of an awards ceremony thing there. And as he said, it was such a great experience to meet so many people. And what Max is doing is great, getting the word out there. And I'm so glad that he's been acknowledged by by Channel 5 and everything. Looking forward to seeing what happens with that today. So just great to see you, mate. And tell the guys a little bit about For the Love of Wrestling, what we did last year, who you interviewed, and who was your favourite person that you met.
I'll tell you what, I mean,
apart from me.
Exactly. I mean, that was one of the moments of that whole thing. We got our phone out and we was sat at the announce table with Mike, and we were like, right. And we were like, good God Almighty, he's broken in there. That was so funny. But I mean, people I met there, I mean, all of them was nice. But the nicest person I would say I met, besides, I mean, I met the Undertaker. I freaked out. I mean, I was like, wanted to say something and couldn't get my words together. Wanted just to say, "Oh my God, you're amazing." I remember going to give the Undertaker a hug, and this security guy kind of came in, and Undertaker being Undertaker, he just hugged me, and he was like, "Oh yeah, bring it in," and I was like, "Oh my God, I just hugged the Undertaker." But the most funniest moment was I actually was Jimmy Hart's security guard for about 10 minutes. Because when he came out of the ring, he said, where's my kind of person? And he wasn't there. And I don't think this guy particularly understood how big wrestling was. So obviously I've been in the ring with Jimmy Hart for this cosplay competition. And, I'm quite, I suppose, a biggish guy. And I was like, Jimmy, do you want me to walk you back to your table? And he was like, in his voice, he was like, no, of course, please, if you can. And I was walking, and I was obviously taking this role very seriously. I was like, right, everyone, move out the way, blah, blah, blah. And he just said to me, he was like, oh, I need to go to the toilet. And I was like, right, okay. There's me stood outside the toilet like this, just, don't go in there, mate. And I remember one person going, I was like, Jimmy Hart's in there, mate, so be really quick. And,
did you hold his megaphone for him?
Honestly, it was, and then I remember walking back to the desk, and I was just like, "Oh my God!" I just was the security guard for Jimmy Hart. I was like, "Oh my God!" But he was such a nice guy, to the point where he even gave me like a free autograph for doing that. He was like, and I was just like, "My God!" But I mean, obviously, all of them. The event on the whole was brilliant. Couldn't fault it, and just meeting all the wrestlers, larger than life characters, and seeing them for them, I suppose, for the first time, because at that point, you didn't have like the Undertaker documentary back then. So I mean, I remember going in to meet the Undertaker, thinking, "Oh my God, this dude's going to be like, proper like, oh my God, what's he going to be like? Do I want to meet my hero kind of thing?" And I'm glad that I did. But obviously, none of it would have been possible without wrestling travel and going to Mania that first time and getting the shirt on television. It all kind of happened for a reason, especially 1 year before the pandemic. Because you're always kind of thinking, should I go or should I leave it? And it was always something I wanted to do, but it was like, do I or don't? When I got to Mania and then Undertaker wasn't there at 35, I was devastated. I mean, absolutely everything tarnished the event for me. And I remember the next night I was there with my mate, and they brought the fog machine out for Elias's bit on Raw, and I kept going to my mate, look, they've got the. My mate was like, Max, don't get your hopes up, because I mean, I was gutted. And then as soon as he was like, the next person that interrupts me is a dead man, we were like, oh my God. And yeah, and even then we thought it was going to be like a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, thing in 2005. Are they just mucking with us kind of thing? Is it the whole Montreal and Shawn going to go, oh, gotcha, and yeah, just seeing him in person was, like God, you know, it was definitely on my bucket list, and glad that I did it. Obviously, 1 year before all of this happened.
Excellent. That's it. You've got to take them opportunities when you can, guys. Make sure you get over to WrestleMania at least once in your lifetime for sure. And you know, the guys at Wrestling Travel can make that happen. So, excellent.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. And we've got some support for you as well, Max, in the comments. Say, Rob Brennan, Mind Autism there, you're an amazing man. Well done. Fantastic support in the comments as well. But Max, we have got a show. We've got to get on with them. Some of the special guests coming in. Are they okay with you?
Say that one more time, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to let you go now, and we'll get you on again in the next few weeks, if that's okay.
That'd be perfect. Again, thank you for having me. I know you've got a lot to cover today with the 61-year-old Sting returning. So, but thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I'll carry on watching, of course.
No, thank you very much, Max, and again, congratulations.
Great to see you, Max.
Nice one, Matt.
Congratulations again, mate.
Take care.